Hello everyone, welcome. I'll be breaking down UFC Fight Night and Cejudo taking on YaDong. This fight will be taking place in Seattle, Washington. It's with a live audience, which is great to see. Also, by the time this video drops, there will be enough time to watch the previous video, which is Jared Cannonier taking on Gregory Rodriguez. So without further ado, let's get into it. First fight of the night is in the middleweight division with Mansur Abdul-Malik taking on Klein. Mansur Abdul-Malik is known for his aggressive striking. He loves to push the pace and land heavy shots, and that's where he could have an edge. Expect him to come out fast and explosive, looking for big hooks and powerful kicks right from the start. Abdul-Malik has solid wrestling, but it's not his primary focus. He'll mix in some takedown attempts, especially if he's feeling the heat from Klein's striking. On the other hand, Klein is no slouch in the striking department either. Klein has a more measured technical approach. He's not as wild as Abdul-Malik, but his precision could be key. Look for him to use his jab to keep Abdul-Malik at bay and pick his shots. Klein, however, is dangerous on the ground. If this fight hits the mat, Klein could look for submissions or heavy top control. He's got the ability to take opponents down and control the pace from the top. His submissions are slick, so Abdul-Malik will have to watch out for that. I'll be taking Mansur Abdul-Malik in this fight. I believe he's the more dangerous fighter and will be able to dictate where the fight goes. Under 2.5 rounds will be a good bet, as I don't think this fight goes the distance. Next fight is in the welterweight division with Adam Fugitt taking on Billy Goff. Adam Fugitt is a striker with a bit of kickboxing background. He's known for his clean striking and his ability to control the distance with jabs and low kicks. He's not necessarily a power puncher, but he can be effective with volume and technique. Adam Fugitt isn't known for being a pure grappler, but he's comfortable in the clinch and has a decent takedown defense. He might try to keep the fight standing to use his striking, but he's capable of engaging the clinch and working from there if needed. Billy Goff, who is also a solid striker with some heavy hands, he likes to come forward with aggression and power punches, throwing with bad intention. He's got a strong left hook and can crack hard if he gets you in the clinch. He's solid with his wrestling and can mix in takedowns to change the pace of the fight. If he's struggling on the feet, he'll probably look to close the distance and bring the fight to the ground where he could control and work for submissions. Billy Goff has a brawler's mentality, which could work in his favor in this fight, as Adam Fugitt has been knocked out in 2 of his 4 losses, also finished inside the distance in 3 of those losses. Adam is 36 years old, so durability wouldn't be on his side here. So give me Billy Goff to win this fight inside the distance. I'll be taking Billy Goff here by knockout, as I expect him to land early and control the fight. Next fight is in the bantamweight division with Ricky Simon taking on Javid Basharat. Ricky Simon, once top contender and dark horse in the division, having a submission victory over the current champion Merab Dvalishvili. Knockout artist Montel Jackson. He's also on a 3 fights losing streak, hoping to bounce back from what seems like his final opportunity to stay signed to the UFC. Ricky Simon is an absolute wrestling machine. He has incredible pace and relentless style, constantly looking for takedowns. Simon's got excellent chain wrestling and a strong top game, making him dangerous once he gets you to the ground. Javid Basharat is a more technical striker. He's fluid and smooth with his movement, and he's very calculated with his shots. Basharat uses his distance control well, staying out of range when needed, but he's also very effective at landing clean counters. He's not as aggressive as Simon, but he picks his moments with precision. Javid is well-rounded on the ground. He has solid takedown defense, and while he doesn't always look for takedowns, he's very comfortable scrambling and walking off his back. He's slick with submission attempts and can catch opponents off guard in transitions. Both fighters have got the cardio to go out 3 rounds. The winner of this fight will be the one who is able to land the more significant strikes and longer control time. Given Javid lost his last fight, getting outstruck by Ayman Zahabi, where he was unable to wrestle, I would be picking Ricky Simon to bounce back and defeat Javid Basharat by unanimous decision. Alternatively, I believe this fight will go over 2.5 rounds. Next fight is in the lightweight division with Modestas Bukauskas taking on Rafael. Modestas Bukauskas is a kickboxer at heart. He's got a dynamic stand-up game, mixing up punches and kicks fluidly. His style is based on clean striking combinations and using his range to set up shots. He's got a decent knockout record and loves to throw heavy low kicks and straight punches. He has solid takedown defense and prefers to keep the fight standing. However, his ability to stuff takedowns and control the clinch could make a difference if Sekera tries to bring him to the mat. Rafael Sekera, on the other hand, is a bit more of a pressure fighter. He brings a heavy-handed striking game and likes to push forward. Sekera uses his boxing as his primary weapon, throwing hard hooks and overhand rights. He doesn't have the same fluidity as Bukauskas, but is relentless and dangerous when he closes the distance. Sekera was doing decently well in his last fight against Ibo Aslan till he got caught with a powerful hook. In this fight, Sekera would have the stronger wrestling base. He's known for his ability to control his opponents on the ground and can switch things up by looking for takedowns when his striking isn't finding its mark. He's also capable of using his ground and pound to wear his opponents down. I believe Rafael Sekera bounces back with a win in this fight. His mentality is to stay in the opponent's face, wear them down, and force them into uncomfortable positions. He's got a high tolerance for pressure, and his mental toughness is a key part of his fighting style. I think he's able to get inside and land some clean, powerful punches, or land a takedown. He could also start controlling the fight from there. The side call of this fight is fight not to go the distance, as they equally have bad striking defense. Next fight is in the women's bantamweight division, with Ketlen Vieira taking on Macy Chiasson. Vieira is a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, and she's extremely dangerous on the ground. She's got a top game that can smother her opponents, using her wrestling to close the distance and set up submissions. Once Vieira gets you to the ground, she's capable of controlling you and looking for submissions or ground and pound. Vieira is a highly technical fighter with a solid stand-up game, but she doesn't rely on her striking alone. She's got a great jab and solid leg kicks. While she's not the flashiest striker, she's effective at managing distance and landing clean punches. On the other hand, Macy Chiasson has a more aggressive striking style. She's taller and longer than most of her opponents, which she uses to her advantage. Chiasson's striking can be powerful, and she's known for her ability to press forward and land hard shots. Her technique isn't always the cleanest. She can be a real danger when she stays aggressive and forces the action. All in all, she has a decent wrestling background and solid takedown defense. She's strong and physically imposing when it comes to grappling. She will need to keep the fight on the feet and avoid Vieira's stop pressure. Macy Chiasson, however, has shown excellent cardio in her fight. She can maintain a high pace throughout the fight, and I will be taking her to win by decision. She is the more aggressive fighter, and I believe this fight will mostly play out on the feet, and clinch wouldn't pose any danger to Chiasson. So Macy's pressure and volume will be enough to get her the win here and closer to fighting for the title. Next fight is in the welterweight division with Fili taking on Costa. Fili is known for his technical striking and unorthodox style. He's got a wide arsenal of attacks, mixing punches, kicks, and even some creative styles like spinning back fists. Fili has a solid takedown defense, but is also effective in a clinch. He's shown in the past that he can defend well against pressure fighters and has a great ability to scramble and get back to his feet if taken down to the ground. Costa, on the other hand, has a much more power-based striking style. He's got heavy hands and strong Muay base. Costa is aggressive with great forward pressure and is always looking to land a knockout blow. His kicks are also very dangerous, especially his low kicks and knees when he closes the distance. Unfortunately, he has weak chin as he's unable to withstand punches to the chin. His takedown defense has been tested and he's shown that he can hold his own in those exchanges. But Fili's wrestling ability might be something he struggles with if it comes to that. Costa doesn't typically look to take the fight to the ground, but if he does, he will need to be careful of Fili's scrambles and an ability to get back to his feet. Both fighters have chin issues, which makes this fight interesting and under 2.5 rounds more likely. Fili has shown solid conditioning throughout his career. He's able to push the pace for 3 rounds and doesn't slow down easily. Costa, however, has a bit of a reputation for fading as the fight goes on. He's explosive early, but if Fili can weather the early storm, Costa might start to slow down and struggle to keep up with the pace. If Fili can drag Costa into the later rounds, he might find opportunities to take over. I'll be taking Costa to win this fight. He's the younger fighter and more skilled fighter, and I don't think Fili is durable or will be looking to trade shots striking. Fili also has the tendency to look for takedowns, while Costa is the better submission grappler. Next fight closing out the prelims is in the lightweight division. Cutelaba taking on Ibo Aslan. Cutelaba is a powerhouse with some of the most explosive striking in the lightweight division. He's known for his aggressive style, coming out fast and hard with a mix of heavy hooks, elbows, and kicks. His knockout power is one of his key weapons, and he's always looking to finish the fight early. Cutelaba is a strong wrestler, known for his explosive takedowns and ability to pressure opponents against the cage. He's not a BJJ specialist, but his top control and ability to dominate physically makes him dangerous in the clinch and on the mat. On the other side, Ibo Aslan brings a more technical approach to his striking. Aslan is composed with a clean boxing and solid kickboxing fundamentals. He's got a nice jab and will look to use his footwork to control the pace. While Aslan doesn't have the same level of knockout power as Cutelaba, he's extremely accurate and defensively sound. While primarily a striker, he's shown decent takedown defense. He's also scrappy on the ground, but against a wrestler like Cutelaba, his defense will really be tested. If Aslan gets taken down, he will need to scramble quickly and avoid being overwhelmed by Cutelaba's strength and ground control. Aslan's biggest challenge here will be dealing with Cutelaba's aggressive pace. If he can avoid the power shots and use his technique to pick Cutelaba apart, he would have much success. But if he stands too still or gets caught in a firefight, Cutelaba could easily land a knockout blow. I think Ibo Aslan can weather the storm and land a knockout of his own, as Cutelaba's chin is questionable and would most likely get hit once he closes the distance. Alternatively, under 1.5 rounds is good to bet on this fight. Next fight opening up the main card is in the featherweight division with Edson Barboza taking on Steve Garcia. Edson Barboza is one of the most dangerous strikers in the UFC. His arsenal is full of devastating kicks, with his leg kick and spinning back kick being especially lethal. He's got excellent timing and distance management, using his head movement to avoid incoming punches while picking his opponents apart. His strikes are fast, precise, and can come from unexpected angles. He's got solid takedown defense and has shown that he can keep the fight standing where he's most dangerous. Barboza isn't going to look to take the fight to the ground, but if it ends up being there, he's shown he's capable of surviving and scrambling to his feet. He's also a BJJ brown belt with sneaky submissions. On the other hand, we've got Steve Garcia, a fighter who brings a lot of pressure to the cage. Garcia is aggressive and loves to exchange in the pocket. He's got some serious power in his hands with heavy hooks and overhands that can knock opponents out. Garcia's best chance in this fight is to close the distance quickly and make it a brawl. Barboza has shown a solid gas tank over the years, especially in his longer, more technical fights. He doesn't fade easily and can maintain his pace for 3 full rounds, even when pushing the action. However, if he's forced to fight at a fast pace or gets into a brawl with Garcia, he may start to tire later on. Given Garcia has been finishing his previous fights inside the distance, it will be tough to see Barboza get finished by him, but I can see the age being a factor limiting Barboza's movement and speed. My prediction is for Steve Garcia to win. Decision is my presumed method, but moneyline will be the best. This fight is in the heavyweight division with Blaydes taking on Rizvan Kuniev. Blaydes is widely regarded as one of the best wrestlers in the UFC heavyweight division. His ability to close the distance and secure takedowns is elite. Blaydes has shown time and time again that he can dominate his opponents on the ground with ground and pound and his top control. If this fight hits the mat, Blaydes will be in full control. Blaydes is not known for his striking, but he's made significant improvements over the years. He's got decent boxing with a solid jab and right hand. His focus is primarily on getting the fight to the ground, but when he chooses to strike, Blaydes keeps it basic, using his punches to close the distance and set up takedowns. Kuniev is a striking specialist with knockout power. He's got a clean technical stand-up game and loves to stand and trade. Kuniev throws heavy punches, particularly his hooks and overhands, with the ability to put his opponents away. His aggressive approach makes him dangerous early on. While he's a solid striker, he's still developing his takedown defense. He hasn't faced many wrestlers at the level of Blaydes, and his defensive grappling will be tested, yeah. If Kuniev can keep this fight standing, he has a chance to impose his striking. But if Blaydes gets him on the canvas, Kuniev could be in for a tough time. But his Blaydes, although has the best wrestling in the division, has no win by submission, and I don't think this will change here in this fight. Rizvan trains at ATT, getting wrestling and submission training from the best, including Ankalaev, who he spends more of his time training alongside. With Curtis Blaydes being knocked out twice in the last 3 fights, I believe he gets knocked out again in this fight. My prediction is Rizvan Kuniev to win this fight. Side call Kuniev by knockout. Kuniev has never been finished. He also hasn't gone the distance since 2020. Under 2.5 rounds is also a good call for this bout. Next fight is in the featherweight division with John Silva taking on Melsik Baghdasaryan. Melsik Baghdasaryan is a highly skilled striker with a kickboxing background. His ability to move in and out of range with quick, powerful shots is one of his strongest assets. Baghdasaryan has an arsenal of kicks, with his leg kicks and high kicks being particularly effective. Melsik Baghdasaryan is also known for his excellent cardio. His striking pace is relentless, and he's proven that he can maintain a high volume of strikes throughout the course of the fight. If Baghdasaryan can keep John Silva on the back foot and prevent him from securing takedowns, his cardio and striking will most likely take over as the fight progresses. He knows how to stay in range and avoid damage, and also set up attacks. His ability to move fluidly and attack from different angles is one of his strongest attributes. John Silva has good distance management in his striking. He maintains well enough range when boxing, similar to that of Ilia Topuria. He does have solid hands and a dangerous clinch. Moving on to grappling is where John Silva is most dangerous. Silva is a submission specialist with a strong ground game. His ability to take the fight to the mat and control his opponent is key to his success. Silva has shown in previous fights that once he's on top, he's a real threat, looking for submissions like arm bars and chokes. Melsik getting subbed in the last fight in Australia, where he took on Joshua Culibao, must feel like a deja vu moment, as he's now presented to the same audience in another matchup where the opponent has a better ground game. John Silva, hailing from the Fighting Nerds gym, would string up a very good game plan to take the fight to the ground and either look for submissions or ground and pound with elbows. I'm certain John Silva is able to defeat Melsik in this fight. Ring rust, having last fought in 2023, wouldn't help Melsik. John Silva has shown an excellent ability to stick to his game plan and adjust when needed. His IQ shines when it comes to controlling positions on the ground, staying calm in exchanges, and waiting for the right moment to capitalize on mistakes. So I'll be taking John Silva here to win in this fight. Next fight is the co-main event with Brendan Allen taking on Anthony Hernandez. Both fighters strive in the grappling. Brendan Allen is an absolute force on the ground. He has a strong Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu game with slick submission and has the ability to transition seamlessly from position to position. He's great at controlling opponents once he gets them to the ground and has finished several fights with submissions like armbar and rear naked chokes. Brendan Allen is a well-rounded fighter who has shown decent striking in his UFC career. He's got solid kickboxing and boxing with good ability to control range when using his jabs and straight right hand. Allen doesn't have the flashiest stand-up, but is a durable striker who can mix things up with his strikes to the body and head. Anthony Hernandez also has a strong grappling skills, especially with his wrestling. He's a well-rounded grappler with solid clinch work and the ability to take his opponents down. Hernandez isn't as polished as Allen in terms of submission skills, but his relentless style and ability to push the pace on the ground makes him dangerous. He's more about ground control and working his way to positions where he can land heavy strikes. Hernandez is also the more explosive striker. He's got an aggressive in-your-face style, often looking to close the distance quickly and land power shots. Hernandez's combinations are fast and his striking is unpredictable, often throwing wild hooks and overhands. His power is a serious weapon and he's shown that he can hurt his opponent with just one punch. Both have fought before in the LFA organization for a 5-round title fight before making their UFC appearance. That fight has aged very well as both are in the peak of their respective careers and amongst the top fighters in the division. Anthony Hernandez won the first fight with a unanimous decision. Hernandez striking is better, with both having equally good wrestling and submissions. Although rematches don't usually tend to finish the same way as the first fight, but I believe this fight goes out 3 rounds, as both are tough as nails. My prediction is that Anthony Hernandez comes out victorious by unanimous decision once again, and probably should face Caio Borralho for a title eliminator fight. That would be a perfect matchup for the middleweight division. Next fight is the final fight of the night, Cejudo taking on Song YaDong. Song YaDong is an explosive striker who loves to throw heavy combinations. He's got fast-paced and can throw with power at any range. Whether it's straight punches, hooks, or uppercuts, Song YaDong has the ability to hurt opponents quickly. His style is aggressive and he thrives on the counter, making him a very dangerous striker in the bantamweight division. Song YaDong does have decent takedown defense. He has shown the ability to keep the fight standing against most opponents, and his scrambles are impressive. That said, Cejudo's wrestling is at an entirely different level. If Cejudo can close the distance, he will most likely take Song YaDong down and control him on the mat. Cejudo, on the other hand, has a well-rounded striking game. While his wrestling is his bread and butter, he's developed solid boxing and has shown he can mix things up with his elusive footwork. Cejudo's ability to switch between orthodox and switch stance gives him an edge in the stand-up department, allowing him to close the distance quickly and avoid damage. Wrestling and grappling. This is where Cejudo shines. He's an Olympic gold medalist in wrestling, and his takedowns are incredibly effective. Cejudo has an ability to chain wrestle, meaning he doesn't just rely on one takedown attempt. If he doesn't get the first one, he will quickly transition into the second or third attempt, often wearing his opponents down. Song YaDong also has great cardio. He's shown that he can keep a high output and fight at a relentless pace. YaDong's youth and aggression also helps him push forward throughout the fight and is dangerous in the later rounds when opponent starts to slow down. However, if Cejudo is able to dictate the pace with his wrestling, it could test YaDong's cardio, especially if he's forced to defend takedowns and walk off his back. This is similarly how he lost his last bout to Peter Yan. I believe Cejudo is not done yet and is still able to win and cruise past Song YaDong. One more fight puts Cejudo in the title contention. It's a must-win for him, so I'm sure he sees it the same way and strives to win. If you have stayed this far, thank you. Please take a moment to subscribe to the channel, as there is a lot being put to create this video. Kindly like, share to those who find it useful. Comment your picks and what you think in the comment section below to boost the algorithms, and I will see you all in the next video.